Welcome in, everyone. My name is Carrie, and today I'm going to give you a quick introduction into the Kouri Richins case.
A community is shocked tonight after news broke earlier today of what seemed like a grieving wife and mother now arrested for the murder of her husband. Kouri and Eric Richins were married for 9 years before his death last March. And just a month ago, Kouri came onto ABC4's lifestyle show to promote the book about grief and loss after the loss of her husband. According to unsealed court documents, autopsy reports revealed Eric died due to an overdose of fentanyl, 5 times the lethal dose.
In August of 2024, a judge decided that a Utah mother of 3 who wrote a children's book about coping with grief after her husband's death will be tried for his unaliving. The father of 3 was poisoned and passed away at the age of 39 in March of 2022. Prosecutors say that Kouri Richins mixed a lethal dose of fentanyl into his Moscow Mule cocktail. Kouri Richins was arrested a year after her husband's death and has since been charged with aggravated murder, drug charges, and various fraud charges. This is deep. There's a lot to it, and I don't know if I can get to it all before we go into this hearing today, but I'm certainly going to try. Eric Richins was a successful contractor. He owned his own business. Kouri Richins was a realtor, and she ended up buying and flipping a lot of homes to make a profit. Kouri's mom was interviewed by 48 Hours, and she claims that Eric had told her his chest had hurt, and she said that he also had looked horrible a couple of days before he died. And Kouri's mother also said that Kouri was devastated after his death and would not go back into the bedroom for 2 months. Prior to his death, Eric told his family that if he did die, they needed to take a look into Kouri because he said he thought she was trying to kill him. Kouri has 2 brothers, Ronnie and DJ, and one is scheduled to testify in her trial. According to Kouri's family, they were celebrating the purchase of a mansion for her business. She had bought it, going to finish it, and then flip it. First responders on the scene said they thought Eric passed of an aneurysm. In 2009, Eric and Kouri met while she was working as a cashier at Home Depot, and of course he was there buying products for his business. Her family thought a lot of Eric, and they said that he was a great dad. And in 2013, they got married. Her colleagues said that she was a brilliant business person. She usually would buy about 3 properties at a time to flip. Eric's autopsy revealed fentanyl. And Kouri's family said that Eric took THC gummies every day and not always from reputable sources. They also claimed that he liked to take pain pills. A spokesperson for Eric's family denies the claims of an accidental drug overdose, and they say that right from the beginning, they knew there was foul play.
We know Eric Richins died from an overdose of illicit fentanyl. According to Scortis, people have speculated of a potential drug problem Eric may have had to confirm the possibility of him overdosing of his own accord. But looking at documents, there is no history that Eric ever suffered from any substance abuse. Scortis says to assume that he had an addiction he hid from everyone is outrageous and untrue.
After Eric's death, the 3 boys were lashing out, so Kouri decided to write a book. The name of the book is Are You With Me? In the book, Eric is portrayed as an angel. Just weeks after her local television debut to discuss her book, she was arrested and charged with aggravated murder. Now, her attorney does say that the police never found any fentanyl on any of the glassware in the home. When Kouri's mother was asked about the relationship between Kouri and Eric and if they ever had any kind of issues or disagreements, one item brought up was that he did not want Kouri to work. He wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom. And the brother brought up that Kouri didn't like that Eric would take long hunting trips and stay gone. There was also alleged infidelity on Eric's part at some point. After that, they went to therapy, and Eric's family spokesperson said that he wanted it to work for the kids. He lived for those boys. So when he realized that he would stay in the marriage, to protect the boys, Eric put his estate in a secret trust, and he put it in his sister Katie's name without Kouri knowing anything about it. The prosecution is stating that, of course, greed is behind the motive of his killing. They say that he had 6 life insurance policies totaling nearly $3 million.
Officials say that the 4 life insurance policies on Eric's life totaled almost $2 million, and he reportedly knew nothing about them. When the two were married in 2013, it was established that both of them did not have the rights to each other's present or future income, property, or assets, except for if Eric died while the two were married. And between 2015 and 2017, Richins purchased 4 life insurance policies on Eric's life without his knowledge. When speaking to life insurance experts, they said that there are some cases where a spouse can take out life insurance policies without the affected party knowing about it.
1, a person may obtain insurance on a dependent who does not have legal capacity. 2, a creditor may, at the creditor's expense, obtain insurance on the debtor in an amount reasonably related to the amount of the debt. And the third is a person may obtain life and accident and health insurance on an immediate family member who is living with or dependent on the person.
At this point, it's not known exactly how Richins obtained the life insurance policies.
She had also stolen from his personal accounts and misappropriated money from his business. She was over $2 million in debt. Now, there's a lot of question behind Kouri's behavior after the death of Eric.
It's the case that just keeps unfolding. Kouri has been charged with 1 count of aggravated murder and 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. Here's what's been amended on those charges. We've now learned that after her husband Eric's death on March 4th of last year, Kouri hired a locksmith to open Eric's safe containing between $125,000 and $165,000. Eric's sister told Kouri she didn't have the rights to those funds, resulting in Kouri punching her.
So they believe what set all of this off was Kouri's purchase of a mansion that was just outside of Salt Lake City. She paid $3.9 million for it. And it was 20,000 square feet home with a 4,000 square foot guest house. The flipping guest house is larger than most of our homes. And it was located near a ski resort. When she purchased it, it had not finished. I think it was one of those things that the builder went into bankruptcy or something and he just left it. So she would have to go in and put some money into it. But they had estimated that the profit would be around $12 million if they stayed on budget. Her attorney said that buying and flipping houses had its ebbs and flows with money, obviously. You know, you go in debt for a little bit to make a profit. But Eric's family thinks that he wasn't on board with her buying that house, and that what set everything into motion was their arguments about her buying it.
That 2 weeks after the death of her husband, Kouri placed the house back on the market, and now a year later, at an asking price of $3.7 million, it seems the house may have a new buyer.
So Eric's family believes that she had tried to kill him before his death in March of 2022 on 2 separate occasions. Once on vacation in Greece, where she claimed that the waitress had given him something that he wasn't supposed to get. And then before that was on Valentine's Day when she made him a sandwich that caused him to break out and have trouble breathing. Her attorney claims that he went and laid down afterwards, took a nap, and he got up later and went to the boys' sports game. So it wasn't a big deal. Here's what they have on Kouri that makes it kind of questionable. There was a woman who cleaned houses for Kouri who had a shady past with drugs. She had contacted that woman for fentanyl on more than one occasion. And she purchased 15 to 30 fentanyl pills that were sold to her for cash in February of 2022 before the Valentine's Day alleged sandwich poisoning. A week later, she reached back out to the lady for more fentanyl and said she needs something stronger. Now, the first time she paid her with cash, but this time she paid her with a business check. And the defense attorney said she paid this woman all the time for work that she did she cleaned houses. So how do you know she wasn't paying her for a house? How do you know she was paying her for drugs? So of course that's all up in the air. Now the problem is that because of this woman's past, she has drug charges against her. I guess she might still have some pending things. The defense, of course, is saying that they're using her charges against her to get her to say what they need her to say in Kouri Richins' case. And of course, she would get a lesser charge or they would drop her existing charges. You know, that's the normal thing that happens when there's a situation like this, right? The judge eventually denied bond for her in that hearing. That was in June of 2023. In September of 2023, Kouri had a medical emergency while she was in custody. And she said that they gave her the wrong medication. I don't know if there was I kind of wonder, was she like trying to unalive herself? I'm not really sure. Again, new to the case, we'll check into these little details. Now, since she's been in custody, Kouri has been writing her mother letters, and Kouri's mother is in charge of taking care of her dog. There's a letter called Walk the Dog that apparently everybody's seen out there. And it was questionable because they said that she was feeding information to her mother to get back to her brother, who was supposed to testify in her upcoming trial. I'm going to have to do some court docket diving on this one to find out more about these letters. They requested a no contact order to her mother or brothers because of that. And I've got to see if that occurred. So when she was questioned about these letters to her mother, she said that they were all part of a book that she was writing. She was not ever charged with witness tampering. As of now, the boys currently live with Eric's family. Her family has been denied private visits with the boys, but her mother does say that she goes to their ball games because they can't keep her from doing that. There's been multiple civil cases ongoing because of the money that Eric had left on his estate. So that's a whole nother docket to dive into and see what's going on there.
Camas mother and children's author accused of killing her husband, once out of jail now. And if released on bail, Kouri Richins would wear an ankle monitor and would not be allowed to contact witnesses, among other things.
So her lawyers say part of what kept her in jail originally was the possibility that the state would seek the death penalty, something the state has since said it doesn't plan to do. They also say Richins has been a model inmate, displaying no signs of violence, as well as completing several certificate classes in jail. On top of this, her team argues her 17-month stay in jail has hurt her relationship with her kids.
In May of 2024, Kouri Richins fired back at prosecutors in jailhouse audio. She had an exclusive interview with ABC News.
Give me a chance to prove it to you. The world hasn't heard the real facts of the case. The media's twist and turn what they think they know or what will sell or get the most views. And it's time to begin some serious damage control. What I've really done is protect Eric at all costs. What I really didn't do is murder my husband. I could not and would not ever do that to Eric or anyone for that matter. I will not give up. I will not give in. Please, just give me a chance.
This audio was released just days after her attorneys had filed a motion to withdraw from representing her. They cited irreconcilable and non-waivable situation that emerged from her civil cases, which also required them to withdraw from her criminal cases. Okay, that's another story that we're going to have to get into here. So her attorneys were alleging that the state had listened to privileged jailhouse calls between them and Kouri, and the prosecution countered, saying that the defense lawyer failed to download a specific app that shields those calls and that the prosecution did not listen to the calls. So the prosecutors are denying the allegations. Okay, so here's the dirty laundry part of the story. The case includes shocking allegations. The prosecutors are alleging that Kouri was planning an all-inclusive vacation with another man before, during, and after the death of her husband. According to the court documents, Kouri sent text messages to a person prosecutors are calling her paramour. That's just a real expensive word for lover, by the way. They're saying that apparently she said that she was in love with a man who's not her husband. I think I want you to be my husband one day. Not only did she say, I love you to this new man, she also said it 5 separate times in the week between her husband's death and his funeral in 2022. Now, the family of Eric Richins says that Kouri's statements are nothing but a ranting sociopath, a woman who has no compassion, no feelings, no sense of remorse or guilt for what she's done, and is only thinking of herself. So that's where we are now. What we don't know yet are the really nitty-gritty of this case. And that's what I'll be working on for you guys off and on until this thing goes to trial. Until then, let's watch this hearing today and see what happens.